Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and we are here today to close out our March budget. So we already did all of our weekly check-ins and basically every spread is completed. So we're just going to be adding up all the numbers and just totaling out for the month. Let's start with our sinking funds first. Also, if you guys are curious about any of these spreads that are in my planner, I did set these up with you guys for our March budget videos.
Mama?
Yes,
Mama?
Mom? Yes, Mom?
Mama?
Yes. Also, I do have visitors today. I have both the babies, my husband, everybody is in this room right now. But let's see here. Okay, so for our sinking funds, we have our transaction log and sinking funds. And you guys know I like to do like my double check-offs. As I check in the transactions throughout the week, I like to check it off once so I know it's already totaled. And then at the end of the month, when we check them in again, I like to just check it off a second time. It just is very easy for me to visually see which ones I'm missing and which ones I'm not. But let's start off with unbudgeted first. This one was for a license renewal that we did. That was $48 for unbudgeted, and that is our only unbudgeted expense or unexpected or unaccounted for expense. Then we have our sewer and water that came out. That was $145. And as you guys see, I like to jump around quite a bit with our expenses. Gifts and treating, that's only one. That was also $48. The next one is going to be for medical. There's only one medical as well. That was $80. I feel like I have such a hand cramp right now and I'm not able to write correctly. Let's see. Next one, let's do clothing. Clothing is only one as well. That was $30. Then we have one for pups food. That was $50 for food. For Nala, we got one bag. Home, is there only one home? No, there's a couple of homes. So home, we have $104. And then we have another home one that was 18 plus 18. That in total is $122 for our home category. $122. We actually had another one for $12 that I missed. So that is $122 plus that $12. That in total is $134. For home, now that's all of our home ones. So let me go ahead and just change that real quick. And this is a little milk whiteout that I got from Amazon, if you guys are curious about that one. Then last but not least, we have two of them, which was for our babies categories. And that was $41 plus $22. And that in total is $63. From our baby category. Okay, hopefully I wasn't out of frame for any of that. But now that is everything checked off. I'm looking for all the double checks so I don't miss anything. And then nothing else came out of any of the other categories. Now to total up what we have left from each category. First one is car insurance. That was $328 plus $75. That in total is $403. Sewer and water, we had $147 plus $100 minus the $145. That means we have $102 left over. Holiday, we spent nothing and we also did not add anything, which means we're still at $145 in that account. Pups medical still at $103. For our medical, we had $107 plus $20 minus $80. Or for the family medical, that is $47 left over. For the baby category, we had a negative $259 plus $94. That's minus another $63. Means we are still negative by $228 in that account. Then for car maintenance, $133 plus $20 is $153. For car maintenance, gifts and treating, we had $28 plus $50. That minus $48 means we are at $30. Home category, we are at $48 plus $100. That minus $134 means we are at $14 in this account. Our dates category, we are at $8. Clothing, we had $45 plus $50 minus $30, which is at $65. Pups food, 68 plus 50 minus 50, so that is still at 68. Easy Pass, we're at 30. We did not add anything or spend anything. Office, we're at 56. Nothing was spent. Beauty category, we're at 90. And then our unbudgeted, we ended up clearing out that negative, but then we spent another 48, which means we are at negative 48 for this category. Alright, so that was looking good for sinking funds. I'm going to go ahead and add up what we spent in total for the month, which is 145 plus 80 plus 63 plus 48 plus 134 plus 30 plus 50 plus 48. So in total we spent for the month is $598 from our sinking funds. Now let's total up the end amount real quick and I'll be right back. Alright, so the total for the end amount for our sinking funds is going to be $1,038. And just to make sure that is correct, we had 836 plus 800 that we added, and then minus the 589 that we spent, and that is the exact amount for sinking funds. So we're looking good for that area. Now to check in for our budget for the month as well. So we did stick to our budget of $5,200 for the month. And this seems like our sweet spot for right now, but in the future we might have to increase since our babies are only going to get older and probably more expensive. So, but for right now, we're going to stick to this one. Now to total and see what our daily expenses were. These are kind of like our cash envelopes or electronic cash envelopes, but we are cashless budgeters, which is why right here it's kind of like our electronic cash envelopes. But now let's just total up what we have. I'm really just going to transfer over our tallies from our weekly check-ins because we did weekly check-in for those categories every single week up until the last week. So the end amounts for eating out was $19, and then end amount for groceries was $15. For gas allowance was negative $14 and $6. And then end amount for babies was $2. That in total, after adding everything up, is a positive $16. That will also match our checking account balance at the end of week 4. Now to calculate how much we spent from each category. That means we spent $281 from groceries, from our eating out. From groceries, we spent $385. From gas, we spent $164. Allowance, we spent $81. And then from our babies category, we spent $73 in total. That means in total, after adding everything up, we spent $984 from our little electronic cash envelopes. Now I'm going to go ahead and write that in our dashboard. So for daily, we spent $984. Now for our bills, let's calculate them out too. For bills for mortgage, $2317.66. That minus $2313.94 equals a difference of $3.72 that we have positive. $150 for gas minus the actual bill of $95.06 was $54.94 difference. Then for electric, 100 minus $90.06 is $9.94 difference. For mobile, 180 minus 178.23. That means it is $1.77 difference. Student loans, 175 minus 159.37 is $15.63 difference. And then for my husband's, 125 minus the 86.37 means we have a balance of 38.63. That is difference. Internet, that zeroed out very nicely. And then for a holder, nothing was spent. This is just to balance out so we have an even number of 3,300. I went over this as well in our monthly budget video for March as well, if you're curious. Alrighty, so now to add everything up, we're going to add up all of the actual real quick, and I'm going to write that down there. So in total, we spent for all of our bills is $3,018.18 for our variable bills. We still have our little fixed bills over here, but that's how much we spent for our variable. Now to add up the variances of all of them. I realized I added this up incorrectly. 125 minus 8652 equals 3848. I put 63 for whatever reason, but I'm sorry that it took so long for me to figure out. You guys probably saw it and were yelling at me, but let me go ahead and add this up real quick. Alrighty, so the total that we have left over is 159.85, which is fantastic. And just to add everything up real quick, we have 3178.03 as our budget. That minus what we spend was 3018.18, and that in total also matches out. And just to make sure, it also matches for our bills as well, the end amount that we finished checking in. All right, that is perfect. So in total for all of the bills that we spent, that means for our variable, that 3018.18 plus our fixed 121.97 equals a total that we spent of $3,140.15, which is not bad considering our budget was $3,300. So for bills, $3,140.15. Let me see how much we spent for other months. This is around the same actually, but I'd rather have more than less just in case something happens throughout the month. But now that that is basically checked in, we still have a couple more things to check in. First, since we're here, let's just finish checking for our dashboard. Sinking funds, let's see how much that we spent. We spent $589 or $598. $598 that was spent from sinking funds. For savings, we ended up saving a total of $220. For our savings goal, which was $220. That was because our savings board challenge, we did $30 saved, our monthly savings, which was $100, and then also $90 from our monthly savings challenge, which was from our little savings challenge here, our mini savings challenge, and that all went into our little LASIK eye surgery category. I'll talk about this. I think I only briefly talked about this in one of the weekly check-in videos, but I'll definitely talk about this again when we set it up for April. Let's do the final couple check-ins and then we will be good to go. First one is, I just want to add the numbers in for our bills. So for March, let's see, for our mobile for March, our mobile bill was $178.23, so that was actually the same amount as the previous month. Then for our utilities for gas, it was $95.06. So I do want to fill that in, $95.06. For water, let's see, our water bill did come out. Our water and sewer, that one was $144.50 for our water bill. Then we also have our electric. Electric was $90.06. And then for our mortgage, that was the same amount. So we're looking good for our mortgage as well. It looks like it's been very consistent for the last quarter, which is great because we will be keeping that momentum coming for our fixed expenses for April, May, and June as well. But that is looking very good. And last but not least, we just have to check in for our budget results. I did not get to do this with you guys the last couple months, but this is the same spread that I used the previous year as well that I'll continue using. So I did fill up some of this already. For this section, this is how I like to break it up. Usually, of course, you can always just do like income, fixed, variable, or you can do it by sections and list them all out. It's just really up to your preference, honestly, but for me, this is just how I like to do it. But I like to have the income for the budgeted and actual, just to keep it there. And then I have all of my categories for daily, bills, and other. The reason why I have it broken down like that is because my daily categories are essentially my electronic cash envelopes, which is this section right here. Then I have all of my bills, which is these two sections for variable and fixed bills. And then this is like my other, basically, which is sinking funds and ally. So I have them all listed here. So of course we have our daily, which the total is $1,000 every single month, which is adding up. All of it equals to $1,000. Then we have our bills. The budgeted amount was $3,300, which variable and fixed bills all added up together. All of our bills equals to $3,300. Then we also have our other. Our other is essentially these two, or whatever else would be in this category or in this section, but adding up together is $900. Our other category is always zeroed out, since those are what we end up spending towards other categories. It's always allocated towards somewhere, like our sticky funds and our savings accounts. Our variable for our daily, we spent $9.84 with a variance of $16. So $9.84, variance is $16. Other, we have no variance. And then for bills, we spent $31.40.15. And then that variance is $3,300 minus $31.40.15. And that is a variance of $159.85. Now to add everything up, of course our daily bills and other added up is $5,200. And the reason why is because we are zero-based budgeters, so we always try to make sure it evens out to what our budgeted amount was. And then to add up all of our actual, which is $894 plus $31.40.15 plus $900 equals $5,024.15 that was spent for the month. And then what we have left over for the month is $159.85 plus 16, and that is in total means we have a leftover is $175.85, which is really good. Our first quarter of the year, I feel like, is always pretty good with our budget. This is kind of how it was last year as well. Let's see what last year's looked like. So last year's was pretty good too. Last year's we did better, actually, considering, especially with March, we actually had like $300, over $300, almost $400 left over. But I'll still take it as a win as long as it's positive. So that is actually going to conclude this video with our budget closeout for March. Yes, thank you guys so much as always for tuning in. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!